Well, welcome back to the shop, guys. Today I'm wandering around, kind of fiddle-farting around with some stuff that I need to get done. This weekend is my daughter's homecoming at Olentangy Orange High School. And I told her that I would take her to homecoming, pick her up and drop her off in something cool. And that's what we're going to go to homecoming with. The wood on this thing looks amazing out in the sun. Is that a Grom? There's a guy rolling by here in a two-stroke. I don't even know what it was, just a little two-stroke road bike from the 70s. It sounds super cool. It's two-strokes always sound neat. But I was driving this thing around, I'm like, man, you know, I don't think my fuel gauge works. And I started thinking about it, and I was looking at parts, and I'm like, wait, you know what? I've had it on the rack, I aired up the tires. I'm like, I don't see a wire going to the fuel tank from underneath the car. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if in 1948 the engineers were like, hey, let's make an access panel to the sending unit because it's the only thing in the tank that you need to possibly service. And sure enough, I pulled the carpet back and there's a hole in there. I was like, holy cow. So I have a full tank of fuel. Took off the cover plate and I pulled the sending unit out. Because I'm like, I wonder if the float fell off the sender. So pulled the sender out. Took a look at it. I'm like, that's cork. They actually used cork. And it's heavy because it's saturated. It's been sitting in fuel for so long that it actually just is waterlogged cork and it's no longer floats. It's actually pretty crumbly too. You can see it's just degraded. Kind of neat that it's kind of dry inside, I guess. Anyway, I was like, well, maybe I just need to put a new float on it. So I'm going to keep it simple. I have some of these tin floats. I'm just going to zip tie it to the piece, to the arm. I can actually feel the rheostat, and I bet it's going to work. It's a nice thing about this old stuff. You can fix it sometimes. Very cool. So, maybe we zip tie it on just like that. It'll do what it needs to do. It may end up sliding off at some point. I don't know. I think I'm going to put a little bend into it. Oh man, that guy's tight. Yeah. Keep it simple, right? That's the theory. There you go. Easy peasy. It shouldn't, with a bend, it's going to catch. Rock and roll. Let's put it back together. That's the easiest thing I have to do today. That's going to be a good day. Or, sorry, I guess it would be, if that's the hardest thing I have to overcome today, it's going to be a good day, because that was a pretty easy win. Let's put this thing back together. Boy, I sure do love having access panels. I guess the question will be, will that fit through the hole? Oh, that's going to be questionable. Oh, we made it work. Hey, it floats now. Look at that. Very cool. What was the orientation on that? I think it was like this. Like this, and like that, and like this, and Must have been like that. Yep, that's it. Alright. I got a screw loose. So I think this summer, that's probably horrible lighting going into the sun. There's this big object of fire over my shoulder. Sorry, I'm in a goofy mood today. I appreciate all you guys watching the bits we do on the channel here. I know not all of it's real exciting because it's just regular work in a regular shop, fixing stuff that needs fixing. But that's the real world. Not everything's a $50,000 turbo engine. Some of us are still stuck in the real world working on real problems. Let's see if this solves our problem. That will be amazing to have a fuel gauge in this thing again. I drove this thing down to Good Guys last year, and I got back and I had it sitting in my driveway idling, and it stalled like right after I got. I don't think I was home 5 minutes. It stalled, and it was out of fuel. I was like, oh, yeah, that would have been bad on the freeway. Now let's take a look and see if my fuel gauge reads fuel. All right, key on. Oh, it doesn't read. That's too bad. Oh, it's thinking about it. Holy cow. Fires right up. Purrs like a sewing machine. And we have a working fuel gauge now. Man, I do like this dash. I don't think I've ever looked in there. Oh, just fuel receipts. I think it's pager. What is that? I don't know what that is. Flashlight? Dead flashlight? Maybe that's the dome light. Jeweled handles and all the knobs and stuff that are probably unobtainium to find. That one's in really good shape. Oh, this has the cowl vent. I forgot about the cowl vents. What's that guy give it to? Air conditioning. And this one's air vent. Oh, that opens the air vent. Okay, so one opens the door and one opens the vent. Oh, well, ain't that cool? Looks like maybe a radio antenna? I don't know. I'm confident that the radio does not work in this car. Probably hasn't in years. Fan works. All weather air control. So my amp gauge works. My park brake warning light works. My engine temp's pretty good, actually. Looks like I need to pull my glass and clean behind it. Dusty, need to clean. Oh, is that wipers? Ah, it is. That's cool. Good news, I got a horn works. Good news, I've got a fuel gauge that works. That's exciting. And it cost me $0 because I already had the parts to fix it. That's the best kind of repairs, when you have the parts you need in stock to do the repair. Well, let me put my trunk back together because I got junk in my trunk. And I'm gonna go take this thing. I gotta go pick up some pumpkins. Maybe I'll go over to Leeds Farm and get some pumpkins in a 1948 Chrysler Town and Country. Fill the trunk up with pumpkins for Halloween. It's nice knowing how much fuel I have in me now. This thing popped off real clean. All right. This thing is a semi-automatic transmission. Fluid drive, as it's called. On the road again. One shift. You can drive it around all day. Oh, the airflow feels nice on my feet. It's got a speedo that goes to 110. That would be terrifying. August and September in Ohio is just an amazing time of year here. The weather's amazing. I think it rained once in the last 4 weeks. Lots of cool stuff to see. I decided to bring the 48 Chrysler out on a test drive to enjoy this beautiful day. I'm on my way over to Leeds Farm, and my path crossed me with one of the many covered bridges in the area, and it's pretty cool. I dig it. Trolley rides, zip lines, corn pits. Oh, they got a climbing or a ninja course now too. That's new. A slide. And a jumping pumpkin, and a John Deere to climb around on, pig races, and a jungle gym in here. It's awesome. All right, well, I got my haul. It's time to load it up into the trunk and get home. Pumpkins. Pumpkins from a pumpkin. We have so many family memories of this place. Bringing the kids here, it's hard to believe that they're one's in college and one's about to graduate from high school. Well, she's a senior in high school. Well, there you have a little look into Central Ohio's premier destination for youths. You got kids you need to run ragged, take them to Leeds Farm. They got pedal cars and climbing walls, go-karts, zip lines, petting zoo, like they got it all. It's pretty cool. Buy your pumpkins and kettle corn and hay and all your stuff for your fall decor. I'm driving down Klondike Road, which is this beautiful little road, runs next to the river. Super scenic, lots of curves. Just a beautiful day for a drive. And I thought I had a beautiful car out for a drive. It needs to go down a beautiful run of road. And it's on my way home, so it works out well for everybody. Got about a half hour before I get home. Nice leisurely cruise on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. And I think we're gonna leave it at that, guys. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for coming along with my little adventure in this 1948 Chrysler Town and Country sedan. Inline 6 with a fluid drive automatic transmission. It's definitely a unique transmission. It takes some getting used to. You get it up to like 30 mile an hour in high gear, and then you let off the gas and you pause for a second, and then you wait for a couple more seconds, and then it thinks about it and it decides to shift, and then it shifts into high gear. It's definitely from a different era, but it drives nice, it rides nice. Honestly, I wouldn't mind repowering this car with like a Magnum 360 and a overdrive transmission. I think it would make it a more fun car to drive, but I don't know, it still gets around just fine in its original trim. It's really nice having a fuel gauge now. But hey, now we know in a pinch, you know, in the old days they used cork for their fuel float. So if you're, you know, running down the road, you can buy a bottle of wine, pop the cork, have a beverage while you change your sending unit float out. Back in business. Anyway, thanks for coming along for the ride, guys. Hope you guys are having a great day. We'll see you on the next one. Stay safe.